Okay, great. Thanks a lot for joining, everybody. I'm sure it's a Monday. Oh, sorry, it's a Wednesday evening. I'm losing track of time sometimes. Yeah, it's middle of the week, evening. I'm sure a lot of you have been in your offices and you are taking out time to come and listen us. Our pleasure to talk about the first program in data science in Canada from upGrad abroad. I think people have been asking in all my webinars, Dr. Venkatesh and Dr. Robin, people have been asking us, when are you launching a Canada program? And then on top of that, can I do something in data science in Canada? So I think this is one of those programs which is a perfect blend of data science and MBA and Canada, which has been the major question. And I've been telling them, wait, we'll get it. So today is the day when I'm answering this question. Yes, we have it now. And we have a presence of Dr. Venkatesh. A brief intro about Dr. Venkatesh. He is a Dean of Business Programs at INSOFE. He has more than 2 decades of experience in hands-on technical and management experience in IoT and network analytics. So anybody who is here from IoT and network analytics, feel free to ask a question to Dr. Venkatesh. His background is PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Colorado, USA. He is MS in electrical engineering, from the University of Texas at Arlington, USA, and also BS in electronics engineering from BMS College of Engineering, India. Welcome, Dr. Venkatesh. In this, I think we have 2 Venkatesh, Dr. Venkatesh Sunkad, and we have Dr. Venkatesh Parthasarthi as well. Also with us, we have Dr. Robin Ritchie. He is Associate Dean, Professional Graduate Programs and Associate Professor Marketing, SPROTT School of Business at Carleton University, Canada. He has experience in his market research for Travel Alberta, the tourism market agency of the province of Alberta, Canada, as well as consulting for the Valencian Tourism Institute in Valencia, Spain. He has also served as an account manager for the with Columbus Group Internet Marketing in Vancouver, British Columbia. His academic background is BA in Political Science at the University of Calgary, MSc in International Business, as well as PhD in Marketing from the University of British Columbia. So welcome, Dr. Venkatesh and Dr. Robin. I'll hand it over to Dr. Venkatesh to start a brief presentation, which will be followed by a presentation by Dr. Robin. And then we will start answering the questions. So many of your questions will be answered during this presentation itself. But whatever is pending, we will answer that after the presentations are over. Over to you, Dr. Venkatesh.
Thanks, Ankur. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. First of all, good evening, folks. Good evening to all the students. Give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen and then we can start. I hope everybody can see my screen. Tell me if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, good evening. And my name is Venkatesh Sunkad. So I'm the Dean for the Business, programs at INSOFE. Who is INSOFE? I'll spend a minute on that and what type of programs are we doing and everything. But the first thing I wanted to sort of talk about, and this is something, is why are you folks here, right? So you folks, as Ankur rightfully said, we are now looking into a program, which is an MBA program, but this is a very, very unique MBA program. What do you mean by saying a unique MBA program? Before I continue, guys, as Ankur said, I know there are a few people who've joined in late. If you have any questions, make sure that you type it into the Q&A box, guys. The reason is so that we have all the questions in the Q&A box. So please type it in the Q&A box. A couple of your questions will be answered now, and I'm sure a couple of them will be answered, once we have done with the presentations, but just make sure that your questions are in the Q&A box. So coming back to the program, what is the MBA? Why is it so unique? So let's first understand why are you folks here, and then we can go through the, the logistics of the program and what is it, what do we teach, and why is this, how is it useful to you, how does it going to change your career, and all of those, nice things. So the program is actually, basically, let me first at a high level say, I'm assuming most of you folks are at least have 15 to 16 years of formal education. I'm sure, you must have done your undergrad degree. It could be in engineering, or, some of you must have done your master's. So you must have completed 16 years of engineering, and you might be looking into say, what next for me? When you say what next for you, there could be some of you here who are also working professionals. Maybe you must have, 2 years of experience and 3 years of experience, and be thinking, you know what, hey, I would like to do something in data science. I would like to do something in, sort of knowledge piece of it. So what am I supposed to do? The third thing I'm looking about this, and I'm sure most of you could be passionate about, two things. One thing is business knowledge and data science knowledge, which is a very unique combination. And I'll talk about it in a minute. Why is this a unique combination? And the second thing is, I'm sure you will also be looking into, say, how do I get an international exposure, which is also very important nowadays for you to basically be very successful in your career, because international exposure doesn't mean that, because it gives you this perspective, because most companies today have this global outreach, or most companies today have this global view or outlook. So you need to be very happy. How do I get this international exposure? Why is this combination of business and data science very important? And I'll talk about it. The reason why it is important is, today what is happening, if you look into the companies, most companies, you have these two teams. One is the business team and one is the data science team. Unfortunately, what is happening, there is this gap where the business people don't talk the language of the data science folks, and the data science folks don't talk the language. So it's a huge demand for people to have both the business knowledge and the data science knowledge. And that is a very, very critical, what should I say, gap that this program will fill. So the advantage of this MBA program that we are launching is an advantage is that you can either go on completely onto the business domain, or you can be a technical domain, or you could be somewhere in the middle, which Google has formed a very good, what should I say, word. They call themselves translator. A translator is somebody who converts the business language into the data science language and back from data science to what should I say, business. And that is something that a lot of these companies are looking for, these techno managers that have this bridge between the business and the data science. And that is what this program is going to help you out. So who are we going to launch this program? Who are we is the second thing, right? So basically we are actually INSOFE. Who is INSOFE? I'll talk about it in a minute. And SPROTT School of Business, which is one of the top schools of business, part of Carleton University, which is based in Canada. And Dr. Robin Ritchie will talk a lot more about the university, so I don't want to spend too much time about the university. So this unique combination where you will learn the data science from us and the business or the business strategy from the SPROTT School of Business. In addition to that, there is an internship. So basically, you will learn the knowledge of data science, the practical knowledge of data science from INSOFE, the domain knowledge, and the application, which is part of the internship. And this unique combination in Canada is what this MBA course is all about, which is a combination from two really, according to me, world-class institutes, INSOFE from a data science perspective and SPROTT School of Business from an MBA perspective. Now, obviously, I'm sure a lot of you must have answered, who is INSOFE, what are we and everything. So let me spend a minute talking about that. So INSOFE, first of all, stands for International School of Engineering. INSOFE stands for International School of Engineering. We are an organization that basically provide, degrees from undergrad to doctoral level. So we have basically, we have students who are undergrad, we have a lot of students at the master's level, and we also have students who are doing at the doctoral level. So who are we? So we are specialists in teaching disruptive technologies, which is data science, artificial intelligence, IoT. We only specialize in this. We do not teach anything else. We do not teach, for example, finance, we do not teach, but we may teach applications of finance and AI and things like that, but we do not teach management. Our core focus is on data science, artificial intelligence, disruptive technologies like cloud, it could be blockchain. So we have 30 full-time professors with PhD, 10 adjunct professors, and about 50 plus, full-time data scientists. All our professors, one of the advantages of our professors are they have done their PhDs from really well-known universities. Just like myself, my PhD is from University of Colorado. You can see that they have done from world-class universities. The second advantage that we have at INSOFE, which is all of our professors have at least 15 to 20 years of industry experience. Why is this important? That is very important because that when we teach it from a reality perspective. And from a perspective of understanding it from a very basically from an what the industry wants perspective. In addition to teaching, all of us do consulting. We all do, what should I say, corporate training. Corporate training tells us what the industry wants. Consulting gives me a very good picture into bringing those problems back into our students so they can work on real life problems. In addition to that, we also have a startup within INSOFE, which is based on Coiner, basically, which is on blockchain technology. We have about 75 plus patents from all our professors. We have 4 products, 2 has been commercialized, 2 are in the process of being commercialized. We can see the number of publications, conference talks, research papers. So we are very strong in terms of AI, disruptive technology, ML, and data science. With this background, now I'm going to spend a minute about what are we going to teach. Basically, it is a 3-term course, we can say. Term 1, you do it in India, where you learn the data science piece of it. Term 2, you go to Canada and you learn the management piece of it. We can say term 3 is the internship. Obviously, it may not be in that sequence, but I'm just dividing them into 3 components: the data science, the business knowledge, and the internship piece of it. So these are the 3 components that you will do. So once you learn the India component, which is the data science component, basically it is for about 2.5 credits. Credits are something that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. If not, it depends upon in each country to country the way they divide it. From a data science perspective, you are basically, we will start with very fundamental courses called analytical tools, probability and statistics, art and science, which are the foundations courses for you to basically understand basic data science. The second part of it is we will concentrate on your advanced courses for managers. So remember that this is a business degree. So we will have the technical component and the managerial component. So we will talk about statistical modeling that talks about how do we do the modeling piece of it, how do you build models. Similarly, AI and ML and social mining, which talks about text mining, computer vision. So these are the advanced AI and ML courses. And the third one, which is as important thing, is how do I apply AI in business, which is a very, very practical things that we will teach you, where basically we talk about the disruptive technologies, how do I manage projects, because you are going to be, once you finish your MBA, you are going to be like a techno manager. So how do I manage a data science project? How do I basically do research? How do I do disruptive technologies, where we teach about cloud, blockchain, and everything. So our coursework is sort of divided into 3 components: the foundation courses, the advanced in ML courses, and the AI and business courses. So this is sort of what you will learn term 1, which is about 6 to 8 months in India. Now I will sort of I will talk about your entire journey. So first of all, you will basically either with INSOFE or upGrad, you will start with an application process. In addition to the application process, you have a basic, we have a basic or sort of an entrance exam where we basically test you with basic mathematics knowledge and basic logic knowledge. So you have to score very minimal. It's about 45% is what you have to score to be eligible. Once you are done with it, you basically get an admission into our what should I say process, which is our INSOFE term 1, where one of the things that you will have to do is you'll have to maintain a B grade. So basically, guys, that is something that Carleton University has made sure that you'll have to maintain a B grade, which is something that also that they want to make sure that the type of the quality of the students are really good. Once you have done with it, then parallelly you'll apply for an MBA process with SPROTT School. Obviously, where you'll need to do your transcripts, your work experience, your recommendation. There are standard things that you apply for any foreign university, including Canadian University. And similarly, you'll also have to take an English exam called IELTS, which is a very common English exam that most universities in US, in Canada expect. Once you're done with it, obviously, you'll apply for your visa piece of it. Then once you're done with it, you go to Canada. Obviously, you'll have to maintain a basic grade. You finish your courses there. Then there is an internship. Very, and then Dr. Ritchie will talk about the opportunities for internship, which is a very, very important thing, because that will give you the hands-on piece of it. And also that will help you to sort of, most people, once they get an internship with a good company, that will automatically convert it into a job. And finally, you get your degree. So at a high level, I've sort of talked about your journey from the time you start applying to the time you graduate. This is what it is. So it is sort of, you can consider it again. Let me repeat it. It's a 3-term. Term 1, you do it in India with INSOFE. Term 2, you go to Canada with Sprott. And term 3 at a high level, or the third term 3 is your, what should I say, internship. The last part I wanted to talk about is the jobs and the opportunities and what type of jobs will I get. And that's something very important for you. So I recently took this from, multiple sources. They have done that to say, what are the 9 top jobs they're looking for in disruptive technologies and in, things like that. And if you look at it, the top 3 jobs, or if you look at top 4 jobs, if you look at it, right, are all AI ML related. So first one is, AR, VR, which is the virtual reality, the augmented reality. Even though they say that, the science behind it is actually AI ML, artificial intelligence. Second one is an ML engineer, which is, look at it, a big data. So it's all very, sort of, a job that requires you to have this data science knowledge, plus this, what should I say, domain knowledge, which is your business knowledge. So this is what is sort of, I wanted to give you this sort of an overview glance of what type of jobs you will sort of be there once you graduate from this degree program. So with that, I think, guys, thank you very much. Just sort of talks about, who we are, where are we? We have, we are in Bangalore, we are in actually in Hyderabad, and we have with our partners, we are in Ottawa because of this one, the Carleton University. So we have partners all over the globe. So this is what I wanted to say. So thank you very much. We will wait. We will have Dr. Ritchie speak next. Once we have done with this, we will answer all your questions. Thank you very much, folks.
Well, thank you, Dr. Sunkad. If I could just take over the screen, then I'd like to share with you a little bit about the Carleton side of things in this partnership, which I think really brings a unique value to the marketplace and to you as students. So a little bit now about our partnership with INSOFE and what you'll get out of your experience with us here at Carleton. It really is a special and distinct model of education. You begin with data analytics at INSOFE, and we couldn't have a better partner. I think we're very confident in the outstanding quality of education you get on the analytics side. We also have programs here in analytics, but we're very happy to have students from India start with INSOFE. It gives you an opportunity to be minimizing some of the costs and then transfer over to Canada for the business side of things. So you'd be earning your MBA here in the capital city of Canada. Just a little bit about Ottawa, which is where we're located. Among other things, we are the home to one of the world leaders in e-commerce, which is Shopify. We have some very good partnerships with them. They've been facilitating bricks and mortar stores getting online, joining the e-commerce revolution. We also have a program that is really grounded in collaborative experiential learning. So I know, and we believe it's in our DNA, that students need to be engaged with employers. They need to understand not just what they're learning, but why, and they need to be able to apply that learning to real world business problems, because it shouldn't be a surprise to you or a jolt to your system when you begin your job. It should be a very smooth transition from what you're doing in the classroom to what you're doing in university and ultimately what you're doing for your employer. And so we make sure that that's true. One of the great things about our university is we have a very supportive community and a global network. So when you come to Carleton, you become part of the Carleton family. What that means is while you're at university here, you will not feel alone. You will always feel supported. There will be people around you from South Asia, but also from around the world that are here to share your learning journey. And then upon graduation, you'll have access to a massive alumni network of people who share your membership in the Carleton family. One of the great things about the MBA, it is a globally recognized credential, and to get an MBA from a North American business school coupled with your education in India truly makes you a global citizen. It gives you, I think, a passport, not only to being in Canada, being in North America and succeeding, but also to be a global citizen if you choose to do so. Having, again, education from India, where the education system is very well respected, but also a credential from Canada, which is familiar to the North American business environment, I think is really a very strong package for you to offer to employers as evidence of your skills. There was some conversation at the beginning of today's discussion about Canada as a place to be. I can speak very strongly about the welcoming environment that you have here. There is a huge South Asian community. The country itself is very welcoming. to people from other parts of the world. And that's true whether you plan on spending only a few years with us on your journey or whether you plan on relocating to Canada on a more permanent basis. It is a place that is very, very open to people from other parts of the world. So a little bit now about Ottawa specifically. Why would you want to study in Canada's capital? We do know you have choices around the world, but also within Canada. So what's great about Ottawa? Well, we are the home to Canada's federal government, which means it is a very unique place in the country, and it attracts top-tier talent from all across the country and around the world. And it is a very global city. Now, by Indian standards, a small city, we are just over 1 million people, but by Canadian standards, a fairly substantial city with public sector agencies, but also global companies, and a very, very healthy export-oriented startup ecosystem. We have NGOs from around the world. We have more than 120 embassies based here, again, giving you an opportunity as a student to connect not just back to home, but also with the world. Ottawa is also very conveniently located. We're on major road and railway corridors between Toronto and Montreal. We are not a long drive from here to New York City, and there are direct flights as well. So if you are interested in connecting to those places, we're very, very well located. Ottawa is also a nexus of NGOs, government, and global business. It has become, in recent years, a hub of social innovation and technological innovation. And I'm going to be speaking a little bit more to that in just a minute. So we are home to the largest high-tech park in all of Canada. And Ottawa is a leading global hub for R&D. We have some world-leading companies that were founded here, and we have international technology firms that have established a presence here because of the importance of the tech sector to Ottawa and to Canada, and the connection that that forges to the federal government here. And again, just a range of businesses from very small startups that are getting big quickly to leading global giants. Now, a little bit about Carleton University, the place that you would spend a year of your life working with, and as I say, a community that you would become a part of. We are not just a small private university, we are a world-class research and teaching institution. We have an international focus, we have a huge alumni network around the world, and more than 32,000 students from over 100 countries on our campus. And I think that's important because if we want to think about the place that you want to spend your time, the collaborations that become possible when you are at a full-service university with faculties of engineering, of science, of public affairs, social sciences, we connect with those other units on campus. There is a real intellectual curiosity and a flowering of ideas that come from the fact that we have all of these points of view that converge in what I'm going to tell you about a little later, which is the Carleton Innovation Hub. We also are a very international university in terms of our focus and our culture. We provide very strong support for international students. There is an International Student Services Office here that is specifically designed to provide you with a quality experience, a sense of support, and advice when you need it. Now, the SPROTT School of Business is the business school at Carleton University. This is our building here, the Nickel building. It is a very new building. It just opened up in September of 2021. So this is the interior of the building and the space that you'll be spending quite a bit of time if you join us. You can see at the top of the stairs there, that's the 4th floor, and right beneath it, the 3rd floor. Those spaces are the spaces where we have for MBA classes. And some of those spaces are really quite innovative. They're great spaces for learning. These are classrooms that have been designed for the learning of the 21st century in terms of their configuration. They can go from classroom format to small group discussion very quickly. And we've got technology in the room to bring in students from abroad or guest speakers who feel like they're in the room with you. And that's really been a terrific transformation for us. The school itself is internationally accredited by AACSB and the Network of International Business Schools, and I want to stress how important that is to the credibility of your degree in business. A school that is not AACSB accredited will not be as widely respected, not be taken as seriously, and more than that, won't have the same quality standards applied to their curriculum. And so we go through many, many steps to ensure that we're delivering a relevant curriculum that's of interest to students, that is of the highest quality. In terms of the student experience you'll get from us at Carleton and Sprott in particular, we are top ranked in the country. And we have professors that are award-winning, some really terrific individuals that are top researchers, but also great teachers from around the world. And you can see some of the diversity of our faculty in the photos on the right-hand side of your screen. So I was talking to you a little bit about our new building, and here it is, some additional images with these classrooms and innovative learning spaces. We have facilities in the building for experiential learning. We have a Sprott financial fund where our students invest in the market and learn in real time. We have a space for our student consulting group. We have space for the Innovation Hub. I was mentioning that earlier, which is an entire Carleton University initiative, but it's headquartered right on the main floor of our building, which is really very exciting. The other thing about our campus is it's right adjacent to rapid transit within the city, which means you've got access to the city core and other parts of the city, as well as the airport very conveniently, which also makes for some great opportunities for us to bring in interesting guest speakers very easily. So why does Sprott MBA? Why would you choose us? I know you have a lot of options. Well, the Sprott MBA is recognized in the global top 40 by the Corporate Knights Better World MBA ranking. And what that means is we're committed to responsible management. We're committed to a curriculum and an experience that is designed to prepare students for the 21st century. There are a lot of very good business schools out there, and I've worked at some of them. I've gone to school at some of them. What I would say about our school is our commitment to sustainability, responsible management, and the challenges of the 21st century. You will not find a better curriculum anywhere. We have thought about where business needs to be, not just where it comes from. And that comes, I think, in part from being a school with some history under its belt, but also very much with a mindset to preparing graduates for the future. So our curriculum is designed to take what you bring to us from INSOFE and your undergraduate training and prepare you to be a leader, to drive change, to create impact on your organization. So we understand that the people that make a difference need preparation to make that difference. So building on the expertise in data analytics, when you join us, you will develop domain-specific expertise in the key aspects of business. So accounting, finance, operations, management, marketing, and so on. But also we will challenge you to be critical thinkers, to be problem solvers. In the room, when I'm talking to students, I don't just ask them to tell me what the textbook said or what my lecture said. We actually delve into real-world problems. We learn from the other students in the room, and we challenge ideas as advanced in the classroom. We also make an effort to make sure that you understand the connection between strategy and global awareness, sustainability, responsible management, and entrepreneurship. So our program, in partnership with INSOFE, takes a total of approximately 16 months. And you'll spend time with INSOFE and then 12 months in the Sprott MBA here in Canada. Experiencing things like case studies, business simulations, and immersive field projects designed to get you ready for the real world. Our MBA is also very career focused. As Dr. Sunkad was mentioning earlier, it includes a mandatory 16-week internship designed to build your work experience and to give you something to say on your resume that will be relevant to employers. Not just anywhere, but especially here in Canada, if you're looking to put down some roots to get the credibility that you need to succeed in the Canadian or North American job market, the internship here in North America is critical. We also provide you with comprehensive career support. So there is an internship and career advisor that will be assigned to you that provides skill training, career advising. We also offer networking activities and job placement services. And one of the things that a lot of students find particularly valuable about being able to spend time in our Sprott MBA is that you will be eligible to apply for a one-year Canadian post-graduation work permit. And that's designed for professionals who are interested in gaining North American work experience after graduation. If you're interested in relocating to Canada, either on a temporary or permanent basis, this is a great way to do that as well. It really is that step, that transition that takes you from the degree to the internship to the post-graduation work permit. And then, of course, the employer will hire you on afterwards if things go well, and you can continue to stay here in Canada if that's your desire. A little bit about our program structure. As Dr. Sunkad was saying, you begin with your data analytics training at INSOFE, and then you come to Canada for the remaining 12 months of the program. We have core courses, we have elective courses, and we have integrative experiences that are designed to connect all of those components, because we understand that we're not just training you to be good at marketing and good at information systems, good at strategy, but good at all of those things at the same time, because business leaders really need to understand how all those functions are connected. So specifically, just an indication of what those courses look like. You can see here the integrative experience that includes strategy, international business, and ethics. Then we have a full-term course in management. We have separate courses in accounting, in finance, in operations management, information technology, and of course at the end, that integrative experience that is the internship. And you have your choice when you're with us of doing a consulting experience where you work as part of a student team for a company, or an entrepreneurship experience where you get a chance to work with a startup, or a traditional internship where you'll get placed with a small to medium business and you'll spend, again, 4 months with them working for them. And that creates opportunities for you to then transition to full-time employment. So let's talk a little bit about our industry connections. I was mentioning before the Sprott Student Consulting Group, which is a really very well-organized program that gives our students an opportunity to work as part of a team and then go out and work on behalf of companies to solve problems. So if you've ever thought of working in consulting, this is the experience that gives you the chance to lay the groundwork for that while you're still in your MBA program. You work on real projects. There are a variety of roles available. And in fact, if you find consulting to be of great interest to you, you can actually participate more than once in the student consulting group. And typically the first time you may be an analyst, and the next time you may in fact be a manager or a director of the student consulting team. So it builds your professional network, it gives you academic credit, and it allows you to gain experience in real world perspective. I was mentioning before the Innovation Hub as well. It's a terrific space, but it's more than a space. I think we found in the virtual world of the last couple of years that it is also about a network and a series of ideas. So the Carleton Innovation Hub, as much as it is a terrific physical space on the main floor of our building, it is a community of people who are committed to thinking differently, committed to coming up with good ideas and then transforming those ideas into businesses that can make a difference. So we provide at the Innovation Hub programming on entrepreneurship, but also the opportunity to experience entrepreneurship. And the focus is on 3 different areas: emerging technology, social innovation to solve the world's social problems, and entrepreneurship. Another great thing about Carleton is we have a satellite campus located in Canada, which is Canada's largest technology park. That creates opportunities for work integrated learning with co-ops and internships, as I was mentioning before, but also research collaborations while you're a student with us. And what I think is particularly important, what I think you should take away from my discussion right now is the opportunity that this creates for you to connect with the high-tech companies that are leading the way in Canadian business, to create opportunities to meet people and then secure either an internship or permanent employment. And the fact that we're out there, that we have people working every day, connecting with those employers, and the fact that you'll have an opportunity to go out and spend time in our satellite campus in Canada creates some real opportunities for you to connect in a meaningful way with the sorts of companies you want to work for. So just a bit of a picture. This is a map of Canada North, the business park that I was mentioning earlier in the west part of Ottawa. And you can see here that the maple leaf off to the right in the middle of your screen, that is our location in Canada. That is our satellite campus. We call it CU, Carleton University at Canada. So some of the subsectors that you see reflected in Canada North, you can see here all of the kinds of technology firms that you probably have worked with or for or are familiar with, and that you may aspire to work with. And believe me when I say that the data analytics training you get at INSOFE, coupled with the management training, the networking, and the career skills building that you get at Carleton, and the opportunity to connect specifically with these companies, provides you with a platform for success after graduation. So let's talk a little bit about post-graduation work. Now, you may be wondering, where should I go in the world? You may have already decided that Canada is a place that you want to spend some time, or maybe you're thinking about Europe, the United States, Canada, Australia, elsewhere. There is significant demand in Canada for talent. Now, the Globe and Mail is Canada's national newspaper. This is a news article from this week. Canada is actually increasing the level of immigration that it will be recruiting over the next several years. And the reason for that is that there is demand for talent. And that's, let me be clear, this is not demand for people. It's demand for talented, skilled individuals. And that's specifically what this program, the INSOFE Carleton program, is designed to prepare you for. So when employers here in North America hire, they're looking for 3 things. They want to know that you've got the job skills that they need so that you can step into their company and do the things that need doing. They also want some assurance that you have the preparation that it's not that you're not just saying you have the skills, but that you really do. And so what you need there are recognized credentials. An MBA from a Canadian university, especially Carleton University located here in Ottawa, will give you the credibility that you need with those employers. And you also need the ability to function in the North American workplace. Now, in many respects, I think business is global. If you've worked for an Indian company in India, you are ready to be a world leader. But there are some things that you can learn about the North American job environment that will make you more successful, that will allow you to connect more effectively with your employer while you're here. So that third thing is what you get through the experiential learning through our MBA program, as well as the internship and the career training that we provide while you're in our MBA program. And the other part of success is networking. It's about meeting the right people who can get to know you, develop the confidence that you can bring value to their organization. And these are things that are built over time. And the fact that you'll be with us here in Canada for 12 months, from day one, you'll have an opportunity to start networking with those individuals, thanks to the events that we have on our campus, but also the events that we hold out in Canada North in the satellite campus. So there is a real opportunity for you to connect from day one. And I think that's really quite important. You'll hear that from me again, assuming you choose to join us the moment that you arrive here in Ottawa. Opportunities in all kinds of fields, especially in high tech, so including AI, data engineering, data science, and data analysis. And again, that's why we're so happy to be working with INSOFE, because you'll step off the airplane already knowing those things, and then you'll be ready to pick up your management skills, career training, and networking while you're here. So in terms of Sprott MBA graduates, 100% employment after 1 year if you graduate with business analytics. The starting salary, $80,000 to $89,000. Now, to be clear, salaries tend to increase very quickly after that first year. What you need to be doing, obviously, is forge a relationship with the employer, build their confidence, and the opportunities are very, very impressive for individuals who have the technical skills and also the business acumen to succeed in the marketplace. Now, most of the roles for our graduates in business analytics are related in some way to our IT. Some focus more on consulting and marketing. But let me stress, more than 1/3 of our graduates didn't have any work experience in Canada prior to starting their positions. And that's really reflective of the fact that we have a program that is designed to bring you in and to prepare you for the job market. Now, in terms of the types of employers you might work for if you graduate from our program, combination of, interestingly, large and small private sector companies. The medium-sized ones tend not to be as well represented, and that's because I think a lot of our graduates want to work for the large global companies. Others want to work for small entrepreneurial startups that are growing quickly. There are both of those opportunities available to you. Virtually all of these companies have international reach, or at least international aspirations. And that's one of the reasons why we value you in the job market. It's not just that we want your skills, we also appreciate people that have a global perspective. So joining us from South Asia, I think, really adds a lot of value to the companies that are hiring. The majority of these employers are headquartered here in Canada. They're Canadian startups. Often they do, though, get acquired by global companies. And so we also place our students with significant numbers of global firms. Sometimes those are global firms that moved into Canada and established a presence here. And sometimes they are formerly Canadian firms that have been bought out by global companies. Most of our graduates work for technology or telecom firms, but some of them work for NGOs, for media and entertainment companies, for education, or for government. Here are some of the examples of the kinds of employment opportunities that you can expect here. I won't spend too much time on this other than to say it's a relatively diverse range of options, but obviously most of them focused in some way on IT and technology. So a little bit about fees and living expenses, because I know you're probably curious about that. It is a high value offering, not an inexpensive offering, but something that's designed to deliver a high value experience that you can recoup your investment very quickly after graduation. So the total cost of tuition, if you join us through INSOFE, is approximately 58,000 Canadian dollars, which is roughly 34 lakh rupees. Now, there are additional living costs, of course, and moving to Canada, you will incur those costs. But another great thing about the partnership with INSOFE is you're spending the first part of your degree with INSOFE in India, which means lower cost of living, first of all. And secondly, if you already have living arrangements, there won't be any incremental living costs to you until you arrive in Canada. And once you do, In addition to tuition and student fees, of course, there's minor costs for books and supplies, for other expenses. The main expense will be your living. So where are you paying? What are you paying to live somewhere in a flat, for example, or for food? If you choose to live on campus, that cost is about 13,500 Canadian dollars for the 12 months that you're with us, for a total expense for the degree, including your time at INSOFE, of 76,000 Canadian dollars, or roughly 45 lakh. If you choose to live off campus, the numbers are slightly different. Most of our students actually do enjoy living off campus. Ottawa is a big enough city. It's a safe city. It's a place where students find that they often like to live a little bit away from campus, that they can experience the city themselves. And you have that option as well. The cost of living for that option is roughly the same as on campus, although you've got more choice in terms of whether you like to spend time with roommates or live on your own. How close to campus do you want to be? What part of the city do you want to live in? Now, in terms of entry requirements, you may be, you were asking those questions, I know, in the chat. We require an honors or four-year bachelor's degree with a GPA of B based on all years of study. So in the North American grading system, that's a 3 out of 4 GPA. On the Carleton grading system, it's an 8 out of 12. We also require you to present a professional resume, one that you would provide to an employer. It should be polished. We look for a personal statement of intent as well. We also want academic and professional references, and we require evidence of readiness for the MBA program. So either a GMAT score or demonstrated aptitude through prior studies or work experience. We also require a demonstration of English language proficiency, and you can see the details there. Now, one thing to stress before I wrap things up: previous work experience is valued, but it is not required. And this is important because many of our students, most of our students, I would say, have about 2 to 3 years of work experience, but we don't actually require that. That's why the internship is so important. That's why the experiential learning component is so important. And our program is designed to help you leverage your studies and build your network. So that's it from me. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll be happy to take your questions.
Okay, so we have a poll. If you guys can quickly fill this poll, it will help us understand the audience better. Meanwhile, you're filling this poll, I'll just pick up the questions from the Q&A box. So Praharsh, your question about can I get more information about the programs, I think that has been answered. A lot of information has been shared by Dr. Ritchie as well as Dr. Venkat. So I'll mark this done. If you have a specific question, please feel free to ask in the Q&A box. Sujahid Basha, can you describe more about the program visa letting post-study permit? I think this also has been answered, Sujahid. If you have a specific question after hearing Dr. Ritchie or Dr. Venkat, feel free to ask. We'll pick that up. Abhishek, yes. Abhishek, your question is there any fees to pay to start the application and how to start a process? So Abhishek, what you need to do is you need to go to upGrad website. From upGrad website, you can start an application. We charge a very minimal fees of 3,000 just to ensure that there is a seriousness on the part of the student. Once you pay that fees, the documents and everything else will be given to INSOFE team, and INSOFE team will start the process, which Dr. Venkat explained in his slide, each and every step. There is a fees when you apply to Carleton. There is also a piece of application fees of, correct me if I'm wrong, 250 Canadian dollar, Dr. Ritchie?
160 Canadian dollars.
150 Canadian dollars. That you need to pay to Carleton as well. So yes, there is a fee, Abhishek, and I have given you details. More details can be given by upGrad counselor. You can talk to them. Can an economics student pursue MBA? Manvinder, I think Manvinder, if an economics student has got a 4-year degree, he should be able to pursue an MBA. Now, I don't know whether in India, right now, I think they are all economics degree a 3-year degree, as I understand. So maybe not, but you can check with the duration of your degree to decide this question's answer. Prasenjit Manna, sir, I have seen in Carleton University website that the overall requirement is first class in graduation. I have second class. Am I eligible for this program? Dr. Ritchie, I think this is for you. I believe you mentioned this, but maybe a reiteration.
Yeah, so without being too familiar with the specific Indian assessment system. So if we would translate the grading system over to our system, and what we require is a B. Now, as I said, that's typically 3 out of 4 on the North American grading scale, or 8 out of 12 on the Carleton grading scale. We will, in some instances, if you're not quite at the bar, we will consider other aspects of your application. So if you have some terrific experience or there's something unique about your story, we're a very inclusive school. We do want to make sure that we have quality students. So make no mistake, we're not talking about low standards, but what we are looking for is evidence that you will succeed in the program, that you'll contribute to the learning of the other students in the program. So, if you're uncertain about whether you qualify, please, by all means, get in touch with us. Let us know. We'll review your file and we'll let you know if you're eligible.
Sure. And just for the because the Indian grading system, INSOFE has already worked on the conversion, and as per the conversion which is available, if you have 60% marks starting from your 10th, 12th, and as well as in your graduation, you will meet the requirement of Carleton. So that you can assume, but yeah, obviously the application has to be approved by Carleton. That's why we will ensure that you do the full application and get a offer letter before you enroll for INSOFE course as well. So that's the answer to you, Prasanjit. Ramanjan Reddy. Okay. Hello, I was informed that upGrad offering this master's program that we can complete the master by 1 year in India and 2 years. Ramanjan, I think this has been answered in detail by Dr. Ritchie. That's a 4-term program. 4th term is an internship. 3 are the taught terms. You do a 1 term in India with INSOFE, and you do remaining 2 terms of taught in Canada, and last term will be an internship. Am I right, Dr. Ritchie?
That's right. Now, in some instances, potentially the internship could be held in between the 2 study terms. That really depends on the circumstances of the year. Typically what we do, and if you were to start with us in fall, it would be the 2 course-based terms with us after you join us from INSOFE, and then a summer internship with us. But either way, 2 course-based terms at Carleton, 1 internship-based term at Carleton, and all the while, we're working with you to help you prepare for the employment marketplace on graduation.
So overall, it's about 18 months if you look at it, 6 months in India and 12 months in US. So overall, it's about 18 months program, just to give you the time frame of which the program is.
Sure. Dennis Mukherjee, it's very important for me to know whether I can enroll next year, and is this for working professionals? So I think next year, Dr. Venkat, you want to answer this one?
Definitely you can obviously, enroll next year, but what I'm trying to get here is definitely it is for working professionals. So that is for 100% sure. In fact, we definitely, this program is meant for 2 or both people who have just graduated and for working professionals. Whether I can enroll for next year depends upon, if you're really interested to go, obviously, the chances are, having enrolling this year has its own advantages. So definitely do that. But can you enroll for next year? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah. We have multiple start times. So the good news is when you want to come and join us, we have the flexibility to allow you to start with INSOFE and then start with us without having to wait very long.
You bring up a good point, Dr. Ritchie. I just want to say this. In fact, it is like, we have 2 terms where you can get in. One is in the January session and one in the August session. So when you say next year, you don't have to technically wait 12 months. If you want to just delay it for 6 months or something, you can definitely get into the spring semester in January and you can still continue.
Sure. I completed BCom General in 2004, 52.92% with experience of work experience 15 plus. Now I want data science. I'm sure the marks are pretty low, 52.92%. What's your sense, Dr. Venkat? I think this is not meeting the 4-year requirement as well as.
So that is something, Dr. Ritchie, Dr. Ritchie, if the person don't have, let's say 4 years, but they have 15 years of experience, which is significant, to be.
Yes, yes. That is one of those rare instances. You remember I said earlier that we do look at the overall candidate, and what we're looking for are students that are likely to succeed in the program. And if we're talking about an individual with 15 years of work experience, we do in fact have a flexible admission system that takes that into account. And in that case, look, if you did your degree 15 years ago, you're a very different person than you were back then anyway. And I would say that the best judge of what your capabilities are, is what kind of work you've been doing. So we would certainly look at that application. So yeah, absolutely, we're interested in hearing from you.
Sure. Ramanjan Reddy, if he didn't get B grade in education in India, then how it goes? Ramanjan Reddy, I think this question can be answered only when we get your documents. So very difficult for us to comment without looking at your documents, whether it is done or not. So feel free to apply, and based on that, we can take a decision. But upGrad people told that we can do this course with 3 years of degree. I don't think that is the case, Ramanjan. You can go and check on the website. It mentions clearly 4-year degree. So that is the current eligibility. But if you have significant experience and you want to apply, as mentioned by Dr. Ritchie, if your profile is really something which will add value to the overall class, it might be considered.
Yeah, and if I could just jump in, I know that in India very often, because of the 3-year degree, that there are 1-year certificate programs that are designed to help build up your education and make you eligible for acceptance into a North American graduate program. So that's quite common as well. We see that, and we can factor that in. We certainly get Indian students, South Asian students with that kind of a package that are admissible.
Sure. What is the tenure for PGWP issued? Okay, so PGWP is not issued by the universities. We'll be very clear on that. As mentioned in our presentation, you will get up to, and I'm very clear, up to 1 year of PGWP.
That's right.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the answer, Sujahid Basha. Okay, Anil Rai Chaudhary, I think this is a good question to take. I am a double master's. I have done MCA as well as an MBA. And I am almost 44 years now. I'm already working as a senior data scientist. Would I be eligible considering my background and age?
So I can take it, and then if Dr. Ritchie can add anything, definitely he can definitely add. So definitely, Amit, one thing is for sure, right? You are working as a senior data scientist. If you now have ambitions to basically going into the managerial roles, if you have ambitions to do that, I think this would be a great opportunity to do that. Or if you want to get international exposure, definitely I think it will be a great. But I think for basic, definitely will you be eligible? Yes, obviously you will be eligible because based on your double masters and everything. The question is, what type of exposures do you want to get? So if you want to get this international exposures, I think this would be nothing. Only thing is for you, you already have an MBA. So the question is, you will be doing another MBA. That is something that you need to definitely consider.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think there are different options. I know you may find other options at INSOFE that are of interest to you. We have other options at Carleton as well that may be of some interest. But in any case, look, would I love you in our classroom? Of course I would. You would want to give some thought to what it is that you're trying to achieve and the incremental value that you'd get out of the experience. And so have a conversation with us and see if it's the right fit.
Sure. Manvinder Kaur, I have completed my master's degree in economics. Is it a good option to take MBA for further studies? So I think this question will be even a 3 years economics, somebody who's done master's in economics, will he be considered? Yes, I think so. Dr. Venkatesh,
yes, definitely you'll be considered because after your 12th, you have 4 years of education. So definitely you will be considered. Anybody who has a master's, not just in economics, let's say you have a BSc and MSc for that matter, or a BCom and an MCom or whatever, right? I'm just giving you some examples. Definitely, guys, you will be considered because you are considered 16 years of education total, 16 plus. So obviously, yes.
Yeah, from our end as well, absolutely. If you've got a master's degree, we will consider both of your degrees when we're assessing your admissibility to the program. I know sometimes students will struggle a little bit in their undergraduate studies and then do very well in their master's study. And we consider that as well, because what we're not looking to exclude. What we're looking for is evidence that you will succeed in our program, because we want to make sure that you don't struggle. And we want to make sure that all of the students in our program bring something to the classroom. And as far as the background that we accept, I won't speak to the data analytics side, but from our perspective in an MBA, the MBA is designed for people who come from any background. So we have business graduates, but also graduates from science, from engineering, and even we had a very good student this past year who has a bachelor's degree in music of all things, and really enjoyed the MBA program. So again, no matter what your background, this is really designed to transform you into a data scientist and a business person that will succeed in the job market.
Are these internships paid?
Typically, yes, they are. Now, we don't guarantee a paid internship. That really depends on your skill set. It depends also on what you bring to the table. We work with students from the moment they start the program to help them build their resume, build their skills, network with companies so that they can secure an internship. One thing that you need to understand about the North American job market, and I suspect the European one as well, it is not a system where we place you in a job that you haven't earned. You have to earn that job. And the way that you earn that is to go out and meet people and tell your story. But we provide you with the skills to do that. And the vast majority of our internships are paid. And again, most of them, when we're talking about students with business analytics training, they would typically be with high-tech companies. One of the interesting things about the innovation hub that we have here is the connection that it provides to those tech firms. And sometimes our students as well will gain opportunities to work for tech firms even before they begin their internship. So we've had some of our students, many of them from South Asia, who've been working with firms early on in their program, and then potentially that turns into an internship and eventually turns into a full-time position.
Usually masters come with 3 years PSW. Why just an year for this program? I think you need to understand the PSW rules of Canada, which mentions that the time you spend in Canada studying will be the one determining your PSW. So if you do a course of less than 8 months, there is no less than 8 months, there is no PSW. Between 8 to 2 years, you get the number of months you do. And if you cross 2 years, then you get a 3 years post-study work visa. Yeah, so Dr. Ritchie, you want to answer this, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, depending on how much time you spend in programs. So with this particular arrangement, spending 12 months in Canada as a graduate student, you would be eligible for up to, and typically what you would get is a 12-month post-graduation work permit. If you do spend longer in a graduate program where you're physically in country in Canada, then it can be up to 3 years.
And given that this kind of a highly skilled program, and I'm adding here a point from INSOFE that there will be a job assurance as well, depending upon your performance in the program, the duration of PSW will be immaterial. Dr. Venkatesh, am I right in saying that?
Yes, it depends upon, but at the same time, let's say if you want to pursue a different job from what we are giving you, right? For example, let's say you want to go and have a different obviously then PSW makes a difference. So it's not that, you.
Got it. Yeah, but if you want to take up the jobs which are coming as part of the offer letter, then maybe not. Yeah, great. Do we have to choose electives in any term? Dr. Ritchie, I'm sure you shown the chart where you mentioned that there will be electives.
Right. So most of your time with us, again, the typical elective component, or what we would call the concentration, that's what you're getting at INSOFE, which is the specialization in data analytics. So once you join us here at Carleton, mostly what you're taking are the core business competencies. That's an integrative part of our program. Yes, there is some limited ability to choose electives. So for example, we have courses on entrepreneurship if you want to learn those things. We have courses on innovation, creativity, and new product design. We have courses on digital marketing. There will be opportunities for you to choose from a menu of electives, but there is limited room in the program because for the most part, an MBA is designed to make you into a general manager, somebody that has a strategic perspective on the firm and understands all aspects of the firm. So again, most of what you'll get from us is core MBA.
There are like this question I'll just combine. I am working for past 8 years, but I see that university can reject the application even after completing the INSOFE course successfully. More details on this part. I think Dr. Venkat explained the process. Dr. Venkat, you want to answer this one?
Yeah, exactly. So the way we do it is, guys, you don't apply for the university after you finish your INSOFE part. It's a parallel thing. So the moment you apply for us, at the same time, you apply for it. So you will find out very soon whether you'll be accepted or not. It's not that you finish all your course with INSOFE and then apply for the university. It's something that you do it in parallel. So there is, yes, it may be delayed by probably 15, 20 days. So it's about 2-3 weeks delay. It's not like you're going to spend 8 months and then find out, oops, you're not going to get into the program. So I'm just or whatever, So it is a parallel process that at the same time you start with INSOFE, you apply for the university. So you will come to know very soon whether you'll be accepted or not.
Yeah, we don't have any interest in taking your money and then having you stuck without the ability to come to Carleton. What we want to do is give you a decision very quickly so that you have everything in place. Our partnership with INSOFE is really designed to make to attract high quality students and to deliver you at the end of the day with the skills that you need and the opportunities that you need to succeed. And that's our purpose in life.
Yeah, and this question I think you mentioned during your presentation. If I have work experience, can I skip internship? And if I skip internship, will it impact the post-study work visa?
So the answer to that question is yes and yes. You must, if you, so you could conceivably do another term of coursework, but that would cost extra because the way that our tuition is structured is that your internship term costs less than a course-based term. What I would suggest, first of all, I think the internship will be a good experience even if you have work experience. And remember that if you have work experience in India, that is greatly enhanced by work experience here on the ground in Canada. And just because you're an intern doesn't mean that you can't be doing very high quality, high impact work. So my suggestion to you would be take advantage of the internship, do it while you're here. The internship that you'll be able to land if you have work experience will be a very high quality opportunity. We'd love to work with you. The other thing I would say is while you do your internship, there is an opportunity to take some amount of coursework as well. So there would be an opportunity for you, even if you're doing the internship, to add to your portfolio of skills during your program. But yes, if you're only in program with us for 8 months, then you would not be eligible for the post-graduation work permit. And so I think for all practical purposes, you would want to do the internship.
Yeah. Suhajit Basha, I understand these are combination of programs, DS and MBA at Carleton. So what are the chances of student visa approval with spouse? I really love the way he combined very irrelevant information with a relevant question. There is the information on the program is a combination of DS and MBA at Carleton, has nothing to do with the student visa approval with spouse. Those are two very different things. And as a university, I believe we will not be able to comment on the student visa. Am I right in my stance here? Yeah. So
Yeah,
spouse visa will be your own, basically you need to find a way of getting a spouse visa, but university will get you a student visa for sure. Eligibility for applying for student visa. Let me be very clear. Student visa is a embassy's prerogative. They will decide whether you are a bona fide student or not. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the thing to stress is that the purpose of the study visa is for you to be here for the purposes of study. Now, I think we can all recognize that what this does for you is it creates the opportunity for then the post-graduation work permit, and it creates a platform for you to then spend longer in Canada if you choose. But when applying for the study visa, the purpose is I want to be there for the purpose of study. And that's what you want to be saying. The other thing you want to make sure that you have is the finances lined up to provide evidence of your eligibility. So, I mean, we will work with you to make sure that you understand the requirements of the application to ensure that you're successful.
I think there are 3 questions which I will just ignore. I have only 3-year bachelor's degree, Manvinder. In that case, you are not eligible with this much of information you're receiving. This cryptic number 7B817C7ED. I'm a BTech IT graduate. You are eligible. I don't know what is exactly your question, so I'll skip. My degree was 3 years, not 4 years. Anil, I don't know what is the question here. Praharsh is asking a good question. GRE or GMAT, is it a necessary thing for the fall 22 intake?
Right. So I was mentioning that a little bit earlier. It's not essential. If you've written a GMAT or GRE, that's helpful in the sense that it makes it very easy for us to process your application. But if you don't have a GMAT or GRE, we will consider other evidence. So if you've performed well in your undergraduate degree, if you have a certain type of relevant work experience, we will look at that. So the GMAT is not absolutely required, but if you have it, it certainly helps speed the application process along.
And then you have put your 10th, 12th and BCom marks. I will just say send the application and then we will be able to give a decision, not on the chat box. I'm a BCom 3 years with cost management accountant with 15 years. I'm eligible. Rajkumar, again, I'll say in that case, as mentioned by Dr. Ritchie earlier, send the application. If the profile suits the batch, it might be considered. I have 10 years of IT experience. Will I be eligible for programs? Again, I send your application, guys. Very difficult to answer these questions over a webinar. So I'll just skip that. I have 3 years BSc degree. Again, I'm skipping this one. after doing the course, what are my chances of getting PR status? What is the procedure for that? Do we answer that question, Dr. Ritchie?
Yeah, I'm warned against answering those sorts of questions because I am not an immigration official. What I will say, and I'll speak in general terms that don't specifically address the question, but a lot of students will go through this pathway with the intention of seeking permanent resident status, and many students end up getting permanent resident status. Again, I think that everybody understands that what we're offering is a degree, but when you finish the degree, you get the post-graduation work permit that sets you up for a visa working for the company that has brought you on, and then that typically leads to a pathway that can lead to permanent resident status. But I want to stress, I am not an immigration advisor, so I'm not qualified to be any more specific than that. We certainly have a lot of students that end up settling here permanently after doing their MBA.
So Sprott Business School will approve my application. Yes, I think this has been answered. I'm a third year in BTech when I'm able to. So once you complete the course, Sagar, your BTech, then you can apply. Tanvi, is it required to have prior knowledge in data science or business for this program? So this is a question, I think, which, yeah, Dr. Venkatesh.
Yeah, I can answer. No, that is the whole point. So we start, so I told you, right, we have a fundamental courses, foundation courses, then advanced courses, and then so we expect you not to have, so that's the whole point in we start from the beginning. So definitely we are not expecting you to have prior, data science knowledge. Similarly, Dr. Ritchie can answer on the business program piece of it. So definitely for our piece, we are not expecting you to have any prior knowledge. That's the reason why you're joining us to learn.
Yeah, and to answer that question, no, I think I hoped that I was a little bit clearer on that earlier, but no, to answer the question, we don't expect you to have business experience. Now, if you have it, that's great. I think students with business experience do find it an easier transition, no doubt about it. And that experience is relevant when you're looking for an internship or a job. But our MBA is specifically designed to help people build their experience in business while they're in program. So we do have a number of students that join us saying, I want to become a business person. I want to become a leader. It's not the background that I have. So that is the purpose of the experiential learning. It's the purpose of participating in the Sprott Student Consulting Group, doing the work with the Innovation Hub, the internship in particular, and the MBA skills building that are designed to build your ability to network, your ability to put together a good resume and connect with employers. So we don't require business experience.
Sure. And one question which I saw in a chat box, if we apply now, can we get admit for September 22?
Yes, I can answer that question. And yes, the answer is if you apply now because we have a batch starting, yes, the answer is yes. Provided, obviously, you fulfill all the requirements. That's for sure. But the answer is yes.
And we'd love to have you. We're very, very excited about this fall. Again, the building is still very new. The things that we're doing out with Canada North, very, very exciting. I think COVID is winding down, so we're really looking forward to a great year ahead. And we've made additional space in our MBA to accommodate the expected demand from students like you. So we look forward to having you here in Ottawa.
Great. I think we have finished all the Q&As and and all the questions. Thanks a lot, Dr. Ritchie, Dr. Venkatesh, and everybody else who has joined. One more question coming. When will INSOFE start? The batch starts on February 28th. So we are already at 16th. So you have 12 days to finish the process, guys. So yes, I am putting a very close deadline, but yeah, that's the way it is. Great. Thanks a lot, Dr. Venkatesh, Dr. Ritchie, for spending time and answering the questions of all our students. I'm sure they are excited, and many of them will be coming through this program. And we look forward to creating many more data science MBA in coming days.
We look forward to seeing you in person and showcasing all of the things we've talked about in face-to-face. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.